Welcome to
Succeed Even If. I'm Tom Marcoux.
And I'm Johanna McLeod.
This episode is about succeed even if you must prevent communication breakdowns.
What?
You're fast. Thank you, Johanna. I have a question for you. When have you been in a situation where there was a communication breakdown?
I remember a time when I was talking to a family member and they were very upset. I wanted to get it over with really fast, so I just said, fine.
Oh, I hear you. And I get that. Often just that one word, that one tone can mean you're still wrong, but I just don't want to talk to you about this right now, so let's end it. It's not about saying, fine, you have your opinion, I have my opinion, you have your values, I have my values, it's okay. It's more like, I don't have time for this, get out of my face. Is that kind of how that tone can sound?
I guess it could be perceived in that way.
And this is what we're talking about. We're talking about communication breakdowns. Now, I have an insight that can be really helpful. And that idea is this. See if we can hold on to perceptions and not opinions. I've been really thinking about this. And I find it easier if I'm holding on to a perception and not an opinion, because give me some data, give me some evidence. I'll let go of that perception. I'll just change it. But if I hold on to an opinion, I've got to defend it.
Oh.
And a lot of this stuff is fear-based. I help people as a spoken word strategist, and I certainly help them with patterns of communication, but I am not emphasizing certain opinions about a particular group or about a certain way of looking at the world. And so I have all this flexibility. And in fact, when I'm working with a client, I'm able to say, so what's most important to you about that?
Oh.
I'm not imposing my opinion on somebody. I'm actually finding out. We're in a process of discovery to find out what is deep in their heart, what is most important to their heart and soul. And then I'm not passing judgment either. I'm holding perceptions that can change really easily because I can have more data. I can have a new perception. I can have a new understanding. I could have an experience and then gain new wisdom, as opposed to holding rigidly to an opinion. This is really something. And the thing that I also want to add to this conversation is how so much of this opinion holding could be connected
To ego?
Yes, if you look on the idea that ego is that part of you that feels small and that it's
Vulnerable?
yes, and made of fear. So what we have is an opportunity when we see that we're being so rigid, we can say, is there any fear connected to this? Am I afraid of something? Am I afraid of looking bad? Am I afraid of looking inconsistent? This is something that you see all the time. You can see it with parents or guardians or politicians or CEOs where they don't want to look inconsistent. But you know what? People who grow evolve and change. They rise up. They let go of what they held before they had new data, new information. When I was 15 years old, I had certain perceptions. Now, decades later, I have different perceptions, which give me more freedom because I'm able to better connect with all kinds of people.
Interesting.
But back when I was 15 years old, I even had trouble with watching certain movies. If the movie didn't end precisely, spoiler alert, this is the movie Alien. I like the movie Alien because at the end, the monster was blown up by a rocket engine. Solid. Evil is gone. That's it. But as I got older, I realized that there are more things in life that can be ambiguous. There are times when the best that you can have is that these two friends are going to keep talking to each other, but it's not clear whether or not they rekindle their romance. For example, when I was a teenager and I saw Tootsie, and it ends, spoiler alert, it ends with the two people, the romantic leads, just talking to each other. As an adult, I get that. That's good. They're still talking to each other. But that's not the solid happy ending. Based on all we talked about, this looks like a good time for a Marcoux moment. This is the time where I share one of my 50 books on Amazon, and this book is Connect. The subtitle is High Trust Communication for your success in business and life.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Thank you. It's the 16th anniversary edition, revised.
Ooh.
On page 47, I talk about the 3 F's process. Find it, flip it, forward it.
Oh, those weren't the words I was thinking of.
Okay. Fun? Friendly?
Not exactly.
Okay. Find it, flip it, forward it. So we're talking about a powerful concept here. We need to find the fear. Here's a quote. A man who's afraid will do anything.
Mm.
The last name of the author of that line is Nehru. A man who is afraid will do anything. So what we need to do is find your fear, flip it, and forward it.
I would have poked it with a stick.
Well, if it's a snake, leave it alone. All right, so here's my point. So the first thing you do is you start off with a question. Here on page 47, what are you afraid of? And then you identify, what do you really want? And that's how you flip it. You see, you go from fear to what do I really want? And then finally, you take some small action forward, and that's forward it. I want to also include that there's a quote from Robert Louis Stevenson. He said, "Judge each day not by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds you plant."
Oh, how interesting.
And that's really the essence of communication. You're always planting seeds. Listening to someone is planting seeds. What you get in terms of blossoming is trust. And that's why this book is Connect, High Trust Communication for Your Success in Business and Life. 16th Anniversary Edition, revised.
Oh, I'm getting that one today.
Excellent. Here, I'll hand you this one.
Ooh.
So, Johanna, we've been talking about succeed even if you must prevent communication breakdowns. And one of the ways that we handle the situation is you don't get rigid. You don't hold on to your opinions. You don't defend them vehemently. You don't really get intense and create arguments. Instead, you're holding on to perceptions and you're open to getting new data, new evidence.
How do you know when your perceptions are off?
That's a big topic. I can share just a part of the process. Here I want to talk about you need to have a way to assess how do your perceptions go off track. One way is to know where you are vulnerable. One time I was in a conversation with someone I just met. They were intense. And I realized when I had a conversation with someone I trusted that why I was bothered was 2 things. One is they were coming across as a real intense authority figure. And number 2, they were coming across with no empathy.
Oh, that's a problem.
I have been in situations where I have encountered authority figures who showed no compassion and no empathy, and that bothers me. That's why I actually have helped so many people become better leaders. Whether in their own business or rising the corporate ladder, I want to help them be better leaders so that they do show the ability to truly connect with people, to be respectful, to communicate and create trust, because I've seen other people create problems of crashing and burning because they didn't show respect. They didn't show that they were trustworthy. Here's my point. If I see someone and I get bothered, I need to be aware of what is vulnerable in me so that I can keep my eyes open as opposed to wincing. Metaphorically speaking, if you're busy wincing, you can't see the other person.
Interesting concept.
Your eyes are closed, you see? And that's what we've been talking about, the whole opinion thing and keeping open to changing your perception, getting more data. I could shut down this new acquaintance situation by judging that person to have no compassion, or I could stay open and look for more data. Maybe that person was having a bad day. Maybe that person got bad news. Maybe they're on the verge of a divorce. Maybe they're having some abdominal difficulties and they were just off that day. We just need to look for more data so that we can see if our perception over time proves to be valid or not valid. So, Johanna, what are you going to hold from this conversation?
I like the wincing concept where you just can't see the whole picture.
Right, and you wince if you're vulnerable.
Yes.
So what we need to do is be aware of our vulnerabilities and also make sure that we stay strong. We do the things like have people we trust that we can talk with, so that we go into a situation not all intense and upset, but we go into a situation fresh and open to make the best of it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Johanna.
Thank you, Tom. This broadcast is brought to you by Tom's online course at udemy.com.
Yes, I'm really excited about my online course. It's called Your Secret Charisma. More confidence and more sales. My other courses include Success Secrets, Confidence and Skills to Handle Toxic People. Another course is Darkest Secrets of Persuasion and Seduction Masters, How to Protect Yourself and Turn the Power to Good. And another course is Darkest Secrets of Film Directing.
Click to subscribe to this channel.
And then you'll be supporting Johanna, me, and our message.
Tom helps people in other ways.
As a spoken word strategist and executive coach, I help people really connect and get yes. I help them with their speeches, pitches, video marketing, and networking. And I help them prepare for that crucial life-changing meeting. As you're ready to go to the next step, see special videos, find out about my books and coaching at getthebigyes.com/next step.
And so remember,
perform at your best with words, strategy, and rehearsal
for your success.